Good morning and welcome to Rugby.com.au's live coverage of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship. We're here for the final day. In the chair is Jordan Hughes, alongside me is Molly Gray, as we prepare for South Australia Barbarians versus Victoria. Molly, what can we expect from this one?
I think we can expect a really great contest between these two teams. I think it's going to be quite evenly matched. You've got Victoria, led by the ferocious Oniata Schwalger for the day, but then you've got the Barbar team as well, who's led by Chloe Butler, and there are a lot of experienced girls scattered throughout this team. So I'm excited. I'm expecting a really good contest between these two. Let's hope it gets underway soon.
Both looking for their first win of the campaign. We're live from Runaway Bay Sports Centre. Very wet Gold Coast day it is.
It is. It's not the greatest rugby conditions. I think the girls are going to have to be quite careful when it comes to their ball handling skills today, but I think they should be right. Everyone knows what's coming. Yesterday was a bit of a wet day as well.
We're here at the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship. You must be incredibly proud of all the teams here at the tournament thus far.
Oh, the step up in the quality of the matches, and you can really clearly see the preparation of the girls from last year to this year. It's quite extraordinary, really, and I think a lot of credit goes to the states who have stepped up in, with some S&C support. I know some of the girls have been playing the other dark code as well, but I just think some general support all round and an increased focus from the crew here between Paul and the guys getting out of the states. Incredible step up. Very excited.
And what have you made of the standard of the competition? We've just seen some amazing final games here this afternoon.
Oh, look, these girls are hungry, and there's no question that they really understand and value and respect the jersey that they're all fighting to play for. And that number one there, they get it. I mean, these girls are juggling, children and jobs, and these are the last unprofessional, not non-professionals, not unprofessional, and non-professional football players.
As South Australia gets underway, Masters takes it up. Strong carry. She had a very impressive last few days, Ashley Masters.
She has, hasn't she? She's had a brilliant tournament so far.
It's messy there. Straight over the ball. Victoria wins a full-arm penalty there. Good start for the Victorians in what is trying conditions. As Georgia Cormick finds the line. Samantha Homewood to throw. Knocked down back to Homewood, who falls on it. It's at the back for Hokart. She finds Masters, out to Cormick. Spread it wide now, the Victorians. Down the left-hand side goes Hunt. Wrapped up ball and all there. It's stolen by the South Australians. Great run by Satala, the 12. On goes Butler. And stolen by the Victorians, but we're coming back for a penalty. Not rolling away the call. Very fast-paced start, Molly.
Great start to the game today. I think it's going to be quite a physical game this morning, which is what we want to see down here at Runaway Bay Sports Centre on the final day of the Buildcorp National Women's 15s Championship.
Wilson to throw. Finds Thomas as they drive the rolling more forward. South Australia breaks off for the number 8 Brock. 5 metres out now. It's there for Adele. Out to Page. Very close now, onto Brock. She drives. She could be over, and it's try time. Kate Brock, the try scorer. Great start for the South Australian Barbarians.
Great start for the South Australian Barbarian team. The crowd is getting super excited.
And aren't they happy about it? First try of the tournament too.
With only 3.5 minutes into the first half, they've done so well.
Look at the replay. Kate Brock pumps her legs and over she goes. Great start. Laura Helbig to take the conversion.
Let's go back down there, okay? I don't know, let's just get back down there.
And it just falls short. The score remains 5-0 to South Australia. 5 minutes gone. As Victoria restarts play, down to the hooker Wilson. It's Scrappy and Cormick dives on it. It's Victoria's ball now. First knock on to Victoria though. And we'll pack down our first scrum of the day.
Be interesting to see how Victoria go in this first scrum. They are missing Schwalger today. She's been ruled out with injury. It's just come in. Hopefully their forward pack isn't going to be too disadvantaged by this.
Of course, Molly, it's Mother's Day today, so happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there.
Happy Mother's Day, mums. I forgot all about that. Hope everyone goes out and buys their mum some flowers and takes her out for a coffee or a breakfast or something nice.
We're certainly spending it the right way, watching a bit of women's footy. How good?
There's plenty of mums out here, actually. A lot of these girls have kids of their own.
As Waddell feeds. Out to Asaya. She has a go herself. Out to Page with a strong run. Georgia Page gets the offload away. South Australia on the attack again. Straight through. Another offload away to Satala. Making real inroads here.
Great meters made by the South Australian team.
Butler with the charge. Waddell fires it wide. Scrappy play there. Good shot by Masters. It's still there though for South Australia. Out to the try scorer, Brock. Satala inside. Wilson has a carry. Waddell fires it wide. To Brock again. And she loses it forward. Playing advantage to the Victorians now. Hokart looks left. Bounce pass. Double knock on there. We'll come back for the first knock on. Both teams looking to try their hand.
They are, aren't they? They do have to be careful though, because it is a slippery ball today here, but hopefully they can slow it down a little bit, stop pushing their passes so much, maybe move their girls in a little bit closer, and they can hold on to that ball a little bit longer.
As Ashley Masters receives some treatment. Back to her feet. Referee sets the mark. And we'll try again. Hokart to feed. Masters picks it up. It's built there by Hicks. It's scrappy and South Australia dives on it. Satala has a charge. Knocked down by the Victorians there.
You've got to be so careful with those knockdowns. Even though it might not be deliberate, they will still get penalised for that.
As Waddell takes a quick tap. South Australia on the attack again. Strong charge by Akila. Onto Helbig. Great run. Waddell fires it wide to Brock. Out to the 10. Elisai. Back to Brock. Wilson dives on it. As they look to set things up again. Numbers right if they can use it. Out to Asaya. Out to Satala. Satala goes through. Waddell fires it back into Phoebe Thomas there. Brock has a go herself. The try score looking for number 2. 5 metres away now. Butler's gone a bit high there, but it's there for Waddell. Out to Lasaya. She has no options, but she goes herself. It's there for Waddell. Onto Brock. And she loses it forward. The ref hasn't seen her. We're playing on. And she's picked it up and we're coming back for the first knock on.
Lots of messy ball out here today. Be nice to see the girls try and slow it down a little bit. Hopefully they can take control of the ball here.
As the rain begins to fall at Runaway Bay Sports Centre, live from the Gold Coast.
Everyone loves a bit of footy in the rain, but I don't think you like finals day footy in the rain, though. It makes it a little bit harder than what you would really want to play.
I think all the sides are looking to play a real territory game today.
I can't wait. I'm so excited. I can't wait to see my ADFRU team play next, but I'm also really excited about the final with Sydney and the ACT Brumbies. It's going to be another rematch from last year.
Plenty of great rugby ahead of us as Hokart feeds. It's there at the back. She looks to clear, but South Australia win the penalty. Great scrum by the Barbarians. Wilson to throw. The South Australian backline set very wide here. As they look for the rolling more as they drive forward. Brock at the back. Still going. Half a metre away now. Thomas has a go. Have they scored it? Yes, they have. Try time. South Australia score again to the front rower, Melody Akilia.
South Australia absolutely dominating today, and the crowd is absolutely loving them.
And isn't it good to see?
For a team that just came together for the first time this weekend. I think we have 4 South Australian originals in this team. The rest of it is made up from girls from Queensland, New South Wales, and they're doing such a good job playing together this weekend.
The tight head prop, Akilia, too strong, that close to the line. You're not going to stop her.
No one's going to stop her today.
as Laura Helbig lines up the conversion. And Helbig sprays it wide. Score remains 10-0 to the South Australian Barbarians. 13 minutes gone. This game could get away from the Victorians very quickly here.
I think it might. It looks that they're really suffering without Schwalger. She's such a presence in the Victorian team and such a big defender. So hopefully they can step up before we finish this first half.
Taken down by Thomas. Out to the try scorer, a killer. She bumps off Cormick. The side behind the back, she holds on to it, great hands, and gets the flick pass back to Page, but she's knocked it forward. Of course, Georgia Page, the outside centre for South Australia, she was an internet sensation last year.
The rugby warrior, or the rugby goddess.
A bit of both. She broke her nose, she got back up and was back for more.
What a trooper. Such a good little player. It's really great to see that she's here at the Nationals and that she's crossed over from the 7-a-side into the 15-a-side.
Good to see she's come back from the United States playing Australian rugby and doing great things.
Absolutely.
Gemma Hokart fees. But strong scrum by South Australia. They are dominating all facets of the game. Led by props, Helbig and Achillia there, straight over the top of the Victorian pack. Gotta love a good scrum penalty, don't you?
Do, don't you? The South Australian props would be loving this. As Waddell doesn't find touch, it goes down to Hokart, onto Masters. She fires it wide. And it's been spilt there by the flanker, Nablarua. Again, these girls have got to be careful trying to push those long passes in these wet conditions today.
The unforced areas are really costing the Victorian side.
It really is. Hopefully they can regain, though.
As we pack down for another scrum of the day. South Australian backs set both sides of the field. As they go right onto Asaya, out to Page. Page fires it wide. Very close to the touch there. She managed to stay in, great work. It's there for Riddell. Onto Butler, Chloe Butler. Plenty of carries today. It's scrappy at the back, but we've got a penalty. Not rolling away the Victorians. Waddell will go quickly. Onto Butler again. She loves the contact. Straight into it she goes. Out to Asaya. Out to Thomas. Onto Brock. Katie Brock having a great game today. South Australia on the attack again. 5 metres away there. Phoebe Thomas with a great run. Achillia with a run. The try scorer wants another one. At the back line, Asaya off the right foot. She's on her own here, though.
She's having a brilliant game, isn't she?
Most definitely. Very close to the line. And they're over. And they've got another one.
Just too good for that Victorian defence today. South Australia absolutely killing it.
And it's the hooker, Elise Wilson. Really dominating in the forwards today, the South Australians are. 15-0 the score after 18 minutes. As we see the replay, Akila takes a charge. Waddell fires it wide. Osaya has a go. And you watch number 2, Wilson. Scoops up the back. Too strong, reaches out. Easy as you like.
Just an easy place over that try line there. I'm absolutely loving the 10 from South Australia today. She's having a blinder in this final match of the weekend.
Really taking the ball to the line and creating options for her outside backs.
Absolutely. She's moving the Barbarians side forward so strongly.
As one of the Victorians makes their way off the field, as Helbig lines up the conversion. And she's got it. Great kick by the loose head prop, Laura Helbig.
Great celebrations from the South Australian team.
So much passion, isn't it great to see?
So much passion. I'm loving it. This team has come together so well this weekend.
Victoria restarts. The try scorer, Wilson. Drops it, but it went backwards, the referee says, and Butler goes forward. Fires it wide to the fly half, Elisa. Out to the 12, Bonnie Satala. Katie Brock, and she loses it forward. Rare mistake from Katie Brock, who's had a really strong game so far. Of course, today on finals day, it's 35-minute halves. So the girls are out there for a bit longer, playing a bit more footy.
Bit more footy today. They're probably a little bit tired from this weekend so far, but you know what? It's all about showing the coaches what they've got now and what they can do under some fatigue.
Really tough format too, going back-to-back games, day in, day out.
It is, but that's what it takes here at the Nationals. And the Wallaroos coaches are in the stands and they will be picking the Australian team off the back of this tournament. That'll be released later this week, so everyone's quite excited and trying to put on a show here today.
As both front rowers go down, we will look to reset. Of course, the World Cup in Ireland this year. How do you think Australia will go? How confident are we?
You know what? I think after seeing the talent that's here this weekend, the coaches for a start, they've got a really tough job ahead of them. The girls will head over to New Zealand in 3 weeks' time where they'll play 3 test matches, and I think that will really set them up for the World Cup. I'm expecting big things from the Wallaroos at the World Cup this year.
As Masters has a run. Big don't argue as she goes forward. It's there for Hokart. She finds no one. Rennie Hicks picks it up. Heavy contact there. Hocup fires it wide. Good chop tackle there by Georgia Page. That's a Nabura. She bounces away Brock. Messi at the back. Finds Masters. She's a little dummy and goes herself. Still going. Takes 4 of them to wrap her up. Ashley Masters there. Hokart goes wide. Onto Cormick. She fires a long ball wide. Out to the fullback Robinson. Onto Temple. Temple has a run. As South Australia steal it. And as go a Bonnie Satala. She's having a great game.
Great game from Satala.
As they look wide. And unfortunately take into touch. Was the left wing Sumaro.
That's what happens when you dance with the sideline.
Good to see though. Throw the ball around, changing their arm. Playing some attacking footy.
They are indeed. It's nice to see that they are trying to spread the ball, create some options for themselves.
Good to see the crowd packing up the stands early. We're in for a real treat today. Some entertaining women's rugby, that's for sure.
They are indeed. Camera's sitting there on Oniata Schwalger at the moment, who unfortunately cannot play today due to injury. I think she's hurt her hand, which is really unfortunate for her. She's had a bit of a bad run with injuries this season, but hopefully we'll see her in New Zealand with the Wallaroos in the coming weeks.
As Bridget Inner leaves the field. Homewood to throw. It's there for Hokart. Out to Cormick, she juggles it. Masters scoops it up. Blindside. Nabura on the bounce. And she's driven back by Butler. Thomas there in support as well. Hokart thinks, I've had enough of this, let's get out of here. And she finds Emily Bass. She's got serious wheels, Emily Bass. She's wrapped up there by Hunt. Waddell has a dummy and goes herself. Referee playing advantage. Not rolling away the call. Waddell takes it quickly. Onto Helbig with a charge. Still going, great run.
Such a driving force is Helbig.
Out to Thomas, Phoebe Thomas. Very close to the line now. It's there for Wilson, but she leaves it behind. And unfortunately, that's travelled forward.
Not the result that South Australia wants, so close to their try line.
It's good to see the 15, Emily Bass, get some ball.
I know, she didn't touch the ball much yesterday, she was saying. So that was a really great little run from her. Shows what she can do in some space as well.
Real attacking weapon she is. It's only her 7th 15s game, so she's certainly doing well.
She is indeed, she is indeed. Her first Nationals tournament, she said she's a little bit scared to be here, but she's doing such a good job, and it's nice to see her out on the park.
Not the biggest girl, but she just puts her body on the line, that's for sure.
She really does.
as the scrum collapses in these wet conditions. Not easy to scrummage in this wet weather.
It isn't, is it? Hopefully they can sort it out though and we can get going again.
As Masters breaks off, back to Cormick. She's trapped her in goal, does very well to get out of trouble there. And she finds the line. Georgia Cormick there, not the biggest girl going around, but certainly can play.
Absolutely.
As Wilson throws, Nabula picks it up. Coming back, short arm. Incorrect numbers as Waddell looks to take it quickly. Sends it wide. Onto Brock with the charge. Looks for the offload. Thomas drops it forward. Cormick picks it up. It's scrappy there at the back. And a relieving penalty for Victoria. They were in some trouble there.
They were, weren't they? I think the ref was trying to let them take that advantage, but they just couldn't get it out in time. So now they can slow it down a little bit and try and execute from here.
As Cormick finds the touchline. They just need to hold on to the ball, the Victorians. Just gain some possession and they'll be well on their way.
And they are brilliant with the ball. You can just see from Ash Masters with her tough running.
Homewood throws. Nabula bats it back. And Zakel Masters with the charge. Palms off Brock. Get out of the way, Georgia Page. As they spread it wide. Back inside. Good attacking play from the Victorians. And another penalty. This is better from the Victorian side.
This is exactly what the Victorian side needs. I love that then. Got to the ground, got up, tried to move a little bit further forward.
As Cormick taps and goes. Sends it wide to Masters. She fires it wide, out to Cormick. Another cutout ball. Finds the winger, Hicks, but she's hammered in the touchline. Great shot there by the left wing, Samoro.
She really shut down those Victorians, didn't she? They did such a good job of spreading the ball right across the field, but not fast enough for the South Australians.
The South Australians are really up for this game. And looks as though that is half time. Here in our first match of the day. South Australia leads 17-0. As we see there, 3 tries to 0 from the South Australian side. Playing plenty of good footy. What's your take on that first half, Molly?
I thought it was really great. I thought it was a really good game of football to watch. I think that the girls have slowed it down closer to the end of this first half and they're trying to hold on to that ball a little bit better. They had to adjust to these wet conditions today. I think South Australia are really moving the ball up the centre of the field well. They're using their 10 and she's making some really great metres. Victoria, on the other hand, maybe need to tighten up their defence a little bit. But all in all, I think it's a really great first half for the first game of the day.
As we take a break here live on Rugby.com.au for the Buildcorp Women's 15s Championship. We'll be back for all the second half action right after this. Welcome back to the second half of South Australia versus Victoria, live on Rugby.com.au. Thanks for your company on this very wet Sunday morning, live on the Gold Coast.
It's not the greatest conditions to play in today, but the girls are doing a very good job of adjusting to this wet weather.
Victoria certainly have a bit of work to do. We want to come back in this second half. Who's impressed you so far in this first half, Molly?
I'm quite impressed by the ball running of Chloe Butler, as always, such a strong runner. And South Australia, their number 10, Alessia. I think she's doing an absolutely brilliant job here today at taking that ball forward. But then if you look over to Victoria and you see the likes of Ashley Masters, she is absolutely killing it. She is so strong and so powerful, and she's doing such a good job of taking her team forward in the absence of Oniata Schwalger today. So she's really stepped up.
Got me, ladies?
She really has, as Victoria head out
Tess?
to get things underway for the second half.
Got you, Tyler?
Tayula Hunt to get us back
FA
underway.
right?
And we're set to go for this second half of the first match of the finals day, as Helbig takes the catch. And she only knows one way, straight into the traffic. Good run. The South Australian forwards really turning it on.
They've come out firing this second half, haven't they?
Out to Elisa. She's on her own. Gets wrapped up, ball and all. It's there for Adele. Out to Paige. Paige will have a go. She's met head on. The 19 is on. McClure, she has a carry. On to Phoebe Thomas. She's been hard to stop all day. Waddell fires it wide. Flicks it over the top, but it's intercepted by Victoria. The 22 there was Rennie Hicks.
This is exactly what Victoria need in this second half.
As Hocup fires it wide. Bit of show and go by the front rower there. It's there for Hocup. Masters looks inside. Dummy goes straight through. Ashley Masters on the run. Looks for support. And she drops at the final hurdle.
Unfortunate there for Ash Masters. That was such a great run. She was looking for support, but there was nothing there for her, and she's just spilled that ball forward.
She just can't be stopped today. Ashley Masters went straight through.
What an absolute legend.
Unfortunately, they looked for support, but she got sandwiched by 3 South Australian defenders.
Great defence there by the South Australians.
Samantha Homewood set the throw for the Victorian side. Looking to get some points. And they've lost it. Waddell looks to clear. It's charged down.
Knock on here. Scrum on the 15.
Messy there at the back. The referee has spotted a little knock on.
Red scrum.
Victoria's really struggled with their line-outs across this tournament. It's really letting them down.
They really have. And this wet weather isn't helping. It is slippery up there.
Bring your feet forward. Crouch.
As South Australia, Waddell looks to feed. As they look to get out of their own end. Fires back to Alicia. She'll have a go. Fires it wide. Almost an interception there, but she's held on. Georgia Page now. She has a run. As she heads towards the touchline. And she's dragged out, but it's still there.
Accidental offside there. It's going to be a scrum to pink.
Poor Georgia Page, met by the absolute size of the Victorian number 8.
4 and 10,
Nabalua,
substitution.
Gordon
4
Talisai,
and
just
10.
ragdoll her into the sideline. As Victoria makes some changes.
Time back on. Pink scrum.
Number 4, Burnett, is replaced.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
The new front rower for Victoria is Paula Ioane. Having some real issues in the scrum this morning, Molly.
They are, aren't they? I'd say they're tearing up that ground a little bit too much. They've just moved the scrum off to the side.
Set. Steady.
Georgia Cormick at first receiver. Picked up by Master at the back. She fires it wide to Cormick. Short ball. And she is met head on there. Korora. Costly error by the Victorians in really good field position. South Australia have it now.
No advantage. Knock on over here.
We're
Scrum
coming back
down,
to the
ball.
first knock on by Victoria. Really good opportunity there for the Victorians, but just that last pass really letting them down.
It did let them down a little bit. We just seem to be stuck in the same position here in the 22. Hopefully, South Australia can get that ball and send it downfield.
Red ball.
Melinda Kosniak. It was in the 13 jersey.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Waddell feeds. It's there for Brock at the back. She gets the flick pass away back to Adele. It's messy. And they've lost it forward. Not the play they were after.
Knock on.
It's not at all, but it's exactly what the Victorian side need. They are only 10 metres out from their try line.
Look for Ashley Masters off the back of the scrum to have a go.
Crouch.
I'm backing Ash Masters here. If she can just get that ball off the back of the scrum, I think she could make a big run and do some damage.
Hokart to feed. It's that girl Masters. She's having a go. Straight through two of them. Half a metre away. They fling it wide. Bounce pass to Kosniak. She's ragdolled in the tackle. Cormick fires it wide. Out to Hicks, who leaves behind.
Knock on first by Pink.
Little knock on there by Victoria.
Scrum
But
down.
Ashley Masters
Red ball.
again, off the back. Takes three, then to stop her.
Well, I'm not surprised that she took that off the back of the scrum, and I am not surprised at how many metres she made then. Unfortunately,
five.
not the result that Victoria were looking for there, as they've lost the ball now. As we go to another scrum, South Australia feed.
You picked it, Molly. Masters off the back.
Scrums are going fine.
Of course, it's obvious. She's such a powerful runner, because if I was at 8, it's exactly what I would do.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Steady.
Barbara Waddell to feed the scrum.
Pink pushing early.
Short arm. Still on penalty South Australia. They slow it down. I'd say they'll look for touch. In fact, regardless of where they are, they're going to have a go. Waddell with the tap. Fires it wide to Katie Brock. She bumps off one. Turnover to Victoria. It's messy at the back. The referee says it's gone backwards. Hokart fires it wide. Another costly error. Well, they got the penalty for the South Australian backline offside there. Cormick to tap and go. Fires it to Masters. Masters still going. Bounces off two of them. Masters will score. And she does. Ashley Masters showing her worth today.
A well-deserved try for Masters.
Big two left palms into the chest of the South Australian defenders, and they had no chance. In the corner she goes. As we see in the replay, Georgia Cormick with the tap and go. Finds Masters. Bit of footwork, bit of show and go. Bounce off Helbig, get out of the way, Asaya. Thomas can't stop her. And try time. Victorians are back.
She's just too strong for the South Australian girls.
Georgia Cormick with the conversion from out wide. Not a bad strike. What a kick. Georgia Cormick from the sideline. Not much of her, but she's got a big boot.
Killing it. This is exactly what the Victorian side need. The game is not over yet.
17-7 the score. As South Australia very slow. Slowing the clock down as they make their way back. Laura Helbig with the kickoff. Really taking their time, the South Australians. And they're underway. She finds space straight for the legs of the Victorian player there. You don't see that every day.
Do not see that every day. That was a bit
Thank you. That's
of
right.
a bit of an error for Victoria, not what they needed.
As Thomas gets the ball, Waddell fires it wide. Out to Brock in midfield. It's messy at the back. And Victoria have done very well. Ball's not coming out of there. We have a scrum feed to the Victorians.
Crouch.
The new player for South Australia at first receiver, Crystal Jamel, out there in the 23 jersey.
It's just slipped off straight away. Let's keep this bind.
As Gemma Hokart looks to feed. Scrum goes down again.
25. Off your feet.
Off your feet, the call, and South Australia win the full-arm penalty.
Here's the mark.
It's very back and forth at the moment.
25.
South
losing
Australia
your feet.
fighting back, telling Victoria that they're not going to let them win this game, that they're still in it.
On goes the front rower there.
Leave it now, Six!
Philly Mohala with a charge. It's gone forward there, but full-arm penalty there. The referee calls time off, wants to chat to Ashley Masters.
Very deliberate by 20 there, playing it on the ground. Oh, what was it? 20, played it on the ground once you've let it go, once you've listened to me.
Bit of a
No
warning,
more like
don't
that in
think
the
she's
red
going to
zone,
reach
okay?
for her pocket. That is not what Victoria need this late in the game.
Going to have to watch their discipline, the Victorians. As Waddell looks to set
Ready
again.
to go, Red.
Fires to Wilson. Wilson has a go. Wilson 5 metres away. Waddell looks left. Good run there by the South Australian front rower. Out to Thomas. Looks right to Jamel. Jamel shows some good footwork. Great offload to Wilson.
Hopping.
She held on to that too long on the ground. Great work by the Victorians there, and we have a turnover. Full-arm penalty to the Victorian side. Just what they needed, Molly.
Just what they needed. Costly mistakes for the South Australian team, but Victoria are back in it again as they go for touch.
As Georgia Cormick finds the line.
It's coming now.
As we head into our final 10
Come
minutes
on.
of the game.
Yep, that's it. Good sit there. Keep this gap.
It's there for Victoria.
Come off, Red.
Off the foot of the
Knock on. Scrum on the 15.
South Australian player. We'll pack down for a scrum.
Out here, girls.
Of course, Molly Gray, you are fighting back from an injury yourself. How's it all coming along, the knee?
I am fighting back from an injury. Had an ACL reconstruction 2 months ago, so I'm sitting on the sideline at the Nationals this year, missing out, but I'm looking to be back in time for the World Cup. That's the plan anyways. We'll see how that goes. But I'm well ahead of schedule, so I'm missing out on a lot of footy this season, but I'm excited.
Set.
I'm sure that's music to ears to Wallaroos coach Paul Varell.
I've been nagging him to take me away to New Zealand as well. Don't know if that's going to happen, but I'll probably, hopefully be there for the World Cup.
As Kosniak has a charge. Great short ball by Cormick. On to Nabarua. Met head on by Phoebe Thomas. She kicks out of that one. New halfback for Victoria, Megan McCartney. Stolen there by the South Australians.
10, entry.
Side entry of the call.
Yeah.
As referee calls time off.
We've got blood, ×2. It's a penalty against you girls, so if I can get you back
Claret
to
out
10.
there for the hooker Wilson. Head clash between, I think, two of her own teammates there.
Yep.
I think so. There's nothing worse than a head clash, especially when it's with your own teammate. I remember back in 2014 at the Women's Rugby World Cup, we were playing France. It was our last pool match, and we had our 10 and 12 head clash. So they both went off into the blood bin, and then we lost our 13 as well. We basically lost our entire back line to the blood bin. It is not what you need in a game, and that is not what South Australia need at the moment.
10 offside.
Wilson and Brock it was, two very strong players in this game, as Cormick finds the touchline.
But this is good for Victoria. It still gives them a chance.
Gone.
We've got just under 10 minutes to go in the second half. We might see Victoria crawl back and get some points on the board. They're going to have to work quite hard, though.
And that's not what they needed. Not straight the call.
Scrum.
I think I spoke too soon
Scrum
there.
over here, girls. Sorry, who's your captain
Disappointing
now?
for the
Chloe's
Victorians.
off. Just realised. You okay? Phoebe, is it? Amber. Over here, girls. On the 15.
South Australian back line
Crouch.
set very deep here. Look to swing it wide to Georgia Page with Emily Bass on the outside.
Let's go, girls.
Alana Eliasaya has moved to inside centre
Crouch.
with Crystal Jamel at fly half.
Set. Steady.
Victoria turn it over here,
Straight through. Come out the other side.
but the ref called it's gone straight through the middle.
To reset to red.
We'll reset and try again.
Just what the forwards want. Another scrum. Another scrum and another scrum.
Crouch. Bind. Set.
Waddell feeds. Fires it wide to Jamel. Jamel inside to Georgia Page. Great unders line by Page. She's met head on by Kosniak. It's gone back, but the second player's knocked it on. Unfortunate for the South Australian side. But great starter play. Georgia Page running very straight and hard.
Great run by Georgia Page.
It's good to see she's finally getting some ball. Been starved of possession over the last few days.
She has,
got a
hasn't
shoelace?
she?
Do you
Their
wanna tie that
backline
up
has
first?
been. It's a very forward-dominant team, South Australia.
Okay, let's go. Crouch. Bring it up.
Set for a centre field scrum.
All right, girls.
Georgia Cormick directly behind the scrum with her backline
Crouch.
either side of her.
Bind.
McCartney to feed.
Set. Steady.
Masters breaks off. Flicks out the
Stop
back.
feet.
Back to
Back
McCartney.
forward.
McCartney has spilt it though. Give it to Ashley Masters and you're looking good for a line break majority of the time.
You are, aren't you?
About 10.
Such a strong runner, just a little bit messy there. Unfortunate knock on by the Victorians. I would have held on to the ball if I was Ash. I would have just ran that line, gone down, and then just let the girls set up and
Let's
take
go,
it from
girls.
there.
Definitely should have run. She's had spiders on her all day. No one wants to touch her.
No one can touch her.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Steady.
Comes out for South Australia onto Dramel. Has a show and go. Hits Georgia Page, who hits the high, and she's whacked. Hammer time by the Victorians.
What a tackle. That was amazing. We've seen
Hit
some
on the
brilliant
ground.
tackles here this weekend, but that was one of my favourites.
19, playing on the
The
ground.
12, Jane Kuroa with the hit. Page will be feeling that one.
Keep going, Red.
Absolutely smashed her. Broke the poor girl in half, but she got up and she's still going.
She's been hitting next week with that one. Nabula now for run. Gets rid of Thomas. Comes to Helbig. Flicks it away to Hicks on the right-hand side. McCartney fires a wild ball. Picked up by Elisai, who's driven back in the turf. It's scrappy on the deck, picked up by McCartney. Victoria have it now. Pick and drive the call as we head into the final stages of this one. Making meters the Victorians as they head inside the 22-metre mark. McCartney looks wide. Onto Cormick. Changes direction to Kosniak. She'll have a go. Melanie Koniziak. Straight through she goes. 10 metres away. Onto Nabarua, the number 8. Powerful ball runner. Fires it wide. Akuya with a run. It's
High
scrappy at the
tackle,
back row. We're
number
coming back
5.
for a high tackle.
It's exactly what Victoria need. 90
Yep.
seconds to go. They are out of this game, but they're like, you know what? I want to score a try still. This
And
is
they've
how-
done just that. Ashley Masters with a quick tap. She's got a double. Straight over she goes.
What a weapon. She has been an absolute asset to this Victorian team here today.
As we look at the replay, they set the platform here. It was scrappy at the back, but we came back for the full-arm penalty. Gave it to Ashley Masters, tap and go. Runs over 3 of them and scores in the corner. Ashley Masters putting her hand up for Wallaroos duty this year.
I think so. I think you're right. She's proving her worth in this team here today.
Really stood up with the departure of Schwalger as Cormick converts.
Unfortunate not to have Schwalger here today, but that's okay because they've got the likes of Ashley Masters. South Australia will come away with the win here today.
As the kick fades away, Victoria looks like left their run a bit too late, but there was still time on the clock.
I'll be 6. We've got a bit of injury time to play.
Have a bit of injury time. 6 minutes to play. Plenty of time for Victoria to score another.
They are not out of the game yet. My apologies.
Okay, let's go, Red.
South Australia taking their time with this kick-off. Laura Helbig to get us underway. And she finds the front rower, Akuya. She has a run.
Advantage high.
Onto Masters, the try scorer.
Coming back here, high tackle. What number? Do we have a number?
High tackle, the call.
5.
Penalty to Victoria.
High tackle. Phoebe, we've had 2 high
Momentum
tackles
seems to have
against you.
shifted
They're
here.
just creeping
Victoria
up.
on the attack.
Keep them down.
It really has, hasn't it? South Australia have slowed down that little bit, and Victoria have just said, you know what, no, we're coming
Get
back
there.
and we are going to try and fight for this win. They're not too far behind the South Australians. Let's see what they can do here with this line out.
Lost.
Nabalua at the back. She flies high. It's there from McCartney. Onto Masters. Out to Cormick. Inside to Kosniak, leaves behind. Picked up by LSI, but we're coming back for the knock on.
Both ways. First one by Vic. Red scrum. Okay.
Disappointing for the Victorians there.
Blood bin
Disappointing.
return.
That was looking to be a really
numbers are
good
coming
run.
off.
If only she could hold on to that ball.
Yeah, that was it.
Kosniak has made a real influence
numbers?
since coming onto the park.
She has. She's made a big impact all weekend with her strong running abilities.
As South Australia makes replacements, Laura Helbig is off, along with Phoebe Thomas. Both had very strong games today.
Is there a little confusion with the subs here?
In fact, a bit of confusion. Helbig, she's back out there.
Who do we need off and on?
Doesn't want to go off.
Who do I need off? Let's go, Red.
Think they might be trying to slow this game down a little bit.
They are a bit tactical there. In fact, Phoebe Thomas is back on the field now, packing down at number 8. And that girl has the ball now. Thomas with a charge. Dummies and goes herself. Taken ball and all by Kosniak. It's there for Butler. Sends it out wide. Inside ball to Asaya. She's taken down. Helbig has a run. She's been very strong today. Out to Jamel. Gets the offload away. Juggles. She's done very well to hold on to that.
Good hands.
The 17 there, Philamahala. Out to Jamel. Aside with the dummy and goes herself. Wrapped up by Kosniak.
Some more. Keep it up.
She's gone in a bit high there. Has to get the ground. And she's unable to do so. Great work from the Victorians.
Exactly
Scrum
what the
down.
Victorians
Pink
need
ball.
in the late stages of this game.
They'll have one final crack.
I've got 2 to go. I've got 30-10, so we're into injury time.
Let's go now, let's go!
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold.
And McCartney feeds. Victorians have a long way to go here. Strong scrum by the South Australians, and they win the penalty. Great work by the Barbarians. They want this one.
They do, don't they? They've come together so well this weekend. It's really, really great to see.
All good.
I've been really impressed today with Chloe Butler. Plenty of carries, really high
Check
work rate.
mark.
She is. She's a very strong forward, great ball runner. It's nice to see that she's shifting the ball around the field as well.
Dead.
And that's a costly
22.
error. Unfortunate for the South Australian side. She's kicked it dead.
Oh. Ash, you've the option of the
With
scrum
just
or a
under
kick
90
or a
seconds to
22.
go in this second half.
You want
It's
the 22?
Victoria's ball.
Oh,
We'll see if they can do something with
Having
it.
a scrum or a
I would
kick,
love
girls?
to see them do something with it. I know that we can't be biased here in the commentating box, but I would really like to
red
see
number.
Victoria come away with the win today. I feel like they've had an absolutely ferocious second half.
What
We
number?
can't be biased, but what we can do is want expansive rugby, and that's what we're getting today, as Masters elects for the scrum.
5.
As the rain continues to pour
We're into injury time, so
at Runaway Bay Sports
30
Centre, live on the Gold Coast. Thanks for your company, live on Rugby.com.au.
about 30 seconds. Crouch. Bind. Set. Straight through.
Ball gone straight through the other side.
Set. Vic scrum still.
Victoria will have the feed as we head into the final minute of the game.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Hold.
Another strong scrum by the South Australians. It comes out the back. Waddell kicks it forward. And it's gone dead.
No, but that's, you're right. But it's time, go 80s.
And that is full time to a very entertaining match. Congratulations to South Australia. They've got their first win of the tournament. 17-12 over Victoria. Great game of rugby.
Such a great game of rugby and such a great fight by the South Australian team. But an even better fight. Not an even better fight, but a really great fight from Victoria. They were just unfortunate enough to lose out on the win by a couple of points, but it was really great to see South Australia's efforts. As you're right, it is their first win of the tournament.
Really close contest. 3 tries to 2 as we see. Special mention to Ashley Masters today for the Victorians. Great game from her.
Great game. What an absolute legend. She really showed the Victorian team how to run a ball and how to do it with such speed and power.
As we see on your screen now, Georgia Page at 13. Another strong game from her.
She had a great game. She had some really good runs, actually. The rugby warrior, as she's known.
That is the one. As we head into our next clash, the Australian Defence Force will come up against New South Wales Country. Thanks for your company. We'll have a quick break and we'll see you live on Rugby.com.au. They'll kill you with a run. The try scorer wants another one. At the back line, Asaya off the right foot.